talk about some culture shit that's happening out here in the world. I just saw that Malcolm X's daughters are suing the Alphabet Boys. CIA, FBI.
I didn't want you to mention them. I didn't want you to mention them, but you know what I'm saying? But yes.
The government.
The government, right? I feel a way about this. Cool. I think it's a good moment. It's good to hear about.
But
I see nothing happening with this because if they're able to win this case, that means that the government, CIA, FBI, and all the other people would admit to all the wrongdoing that they've done to all of our black leaders.
Yes.
And then it will open up the floodgates for everything else. And I don't think that, obviously, Malcolm X's estate has enough money to even fight this. They may just time up in litigation. The story about, how he was shot, who did what, what
they knew
wrong.
about it. They didn't stop it. They were co-conspirators.
1,000 documentaries about this shit, right? I don't think this is going anywhere. I mean, they're suing him for $100 million. Cool, whatever. You're not going to get a dime.
No.
Because
you don't know.
Go ahead. I want to hear you.
You don't know. I think. How do I say this?
I always love your point of view, Kales, because I'm definitely with Amon/Fat Jalen over there. I don't think it's gonna move the needle at all.
I think bringing litigation is important. Speaking up against the government and how it is that they were complicit in harms against Black Americans is important. White Americans have the same right to execute their rights when the government violates them.
Yeah.
And so I think at the basis, that's what it is. We've seen that Black farmers have been pushing back and suing the U.S. government, U.S. Department of Agriculture for their very blatant discrimination, illegal land acquisition, payments, and all of that. And yes, they will try and tie things up in litigation, but you still have to pursue it. And I think the moral of the story is we need more Black lawyers.
I was gonna say, do you think, for your stance on it, and I was just sitting when you were talking, thinking about this, do you think, okay, even if they don't win, the fact that they have enough guts to bring it to the forefront is, because sometimes it's not about the money. Sometimes having your voice heard and actually saying it out loud, this is what happened.
Yeah.
This is the part that you all play. Whether we win or not, you all did this.
It could result in some negotiation in terms of like a public statement. I feel like I should have read how with Fred Hampton and the Chicago Police Department, right? Like there are things that we can prove our governments, whether it's municipal, county. A dude that was running the police department under who was it, Daley?
They were beating confessions out of innocent people.
You have to speak up. And so even seeing like people trying to stifle our brothers and sisters who are currently incarcerated in Illinois prisons, and they don't have clean water. And saying like, oh, you're never going to win. But people are being poisoned. So we just let the government, we let state agencies get away with not following the law themselves. And so I think people, when you have a case and you can prove it and you have a lawyer that is competent enough for the language to use in order for the judge to find standing for it to move forward, then, the ball is rolling.
But we're talking about over 60 years ago now, right?
Yeah.
Those people are dead.
There's no statute of limitation on
but I'm saying, how are you going to prove that? The people that were involved in the wrongdoing are either dead, brain dead, can't move, can't talk. These people, where are you going to get the evidence from?
Those are assumptions that they don't have information and don't have a collection of information and documents.
They had to bring something had to break, and this is what people don't understand. Like something had to break where they can
Now's
get
the time.
This far. Yeah. Like you can't get this far with nothing. So something had to break. Something new has had to happen. Some new information has had to develop in order for them to even get this far. Because as people know, filing is not even easy.
Or a lawyer that's willing to take the case.
Yeah. And then as I was reading up on this situation, it's not only is it's going to bring a lot of people out, it's not going to do well for Muslims. Like, because they play a huge part in his assassination. Like, so there's a lot of, and as we know, and people don't like to talk about it, but Muslims are political. So like this was almost like a conjoinative effort between the alphabet people and Muslims. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like this is not going to fare well for anybody.
Like,
this
shit finna get messy as fuck.
Yeah, like it's not going to be.
I mean, if it goes on,
yeah.
You know?
I mean, look, if this goes on and let's say they win, or it even goes to trial, then you're looking at, all right, we didn't win this one. Now we got to look into MLK. Now we got to look into JFK. You know what I mean? And plenty of others. And even though he wasn't black, but that was a whole conspiracy within
It was
itself.
a super conspiracy.
You know what I'm saying? So what you're asking or what you're trying to bring against the government is why the government is successful, because they do snake ass shit to bring down public leaders, especially in the black community. So I don't see this faring well. If we can't fucking come together and figure out what the fuck happened to Pac and Biggie, how the fuck they gonna tell us what the fuck happened? You know what I'm saying, with Malcolm X?
You know how many cold cases there are of people that are not celebrities though?
No, for sure.
You know,
that's
the other part is like there's nothing.
My sister is a cold case. Like my
crazy.
sister was murdered in 2017. Like, and straight, like from the videos that we saw, she was entering into her, she knew her killer. Like she was entering to her apartment and like she looked back and it wasn't like, it was like
scared.
Yeah, she wasn't scared. And like next thing we know, the person blew her head off.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
You know what I'm saying? It's okay. But it's a no evidence, not a person in custody, not not anything. Like, and there were things that I tried to say, like, she was into it with this girl on Instagram and they were talking about some heavy shit, like super like, hey, I know you do this. Like, I know you do this. You scam this person. Like, and like this girl vanished. You know what I'm saying? Like, so they also are not looking, like with cold cases, they're like, once it goes cold, it's very hard unless it's like break. That's why I said in this particular case, something had to happen in order for
new information
or new something. It's something there where even a lawyer said, "Oh,
we got it.
Y'all got that? Okay,
now we
can do this."
Do y'all think that Ben Crump, who's now like the face of black justice, as far as taking a lot of these cases on, do y'all think he's bit off more than he can chew?
A little bit. Like, I don't want to read about him. Like, and that's tends to what happens.
Because he takes on all of
the major cases.
The major cases.
Yeah.
All the people that have gotten killed by bogus cops and shit. You know what I'm saying? So has his law office in his name, he is the face of the black attorney. He's the go-to attorney. His IG is crazy. He's getting a lot of money. He's getting a lot of face time. Is this too big?
Which is very dangerous.
No, I don't think too big, because when I consider the leading heart surgeon that gets the worst heart cases, like it's the reason why they're the best. But so but also, understanding
you're not in danger if you lose a pay. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not a pose for danger.
What I'm saying is that why would I want to go to an inexperienced attorney that does not have the connections that this attorney has, or the understanding of the judicial system and the favors? Because when this is not pursuing litigation is a process. And there are some ins and outs and nuances of arguments and who it is that you bring to testify and how you present the case and what is it that you're actually charging and how much money you're asking for. It is a complete strategy. You don't want to use someone who is inexperienced in bringing a lawsuit against federal agencies. That's going to be a global conversation and also possibly, screw the pooch. Yeah. So I don't see who else could there be besides Ben Crump
to do this,
to do something like this?
Who would want to do it? First, you have to
want to do something like this and believe in it. Yeah.
And I think he has a passion for it, which is anytime you risk your life or something, because we're going to be honest, like this is a risk of life. Like you are putting everything on the line for this case. I hope, if nothing at all, if nothing financial comes out of this, I do hope new information that exposes and that that brings about some kind of change does come out of it, because it's whatever new information, I would like to know what it is, because it's definitely, I'm going to stick to that. It's definitely something new that has developed that was not there before that's there now.